forgive all who have broken faith by harming me physically or materially, or by using thoughtless, unethical, and malicious speech. Let no one be punished because of me, as I forgive those who have hurt me, so let others view me with favor and forgiveness.
Let me always remember every aspect of creation is a sign of something greater than itself.
You created my heart and mind. I'm grateful for the blessings of thought, feeling, and understanding, the gift of an inner will to act for the greater good. But thoughtlessness, a lack of sympathy, and self-centeredness have diminished my soul. You created my mouth and tongue. I'm grateful for the blessings of language and speech, by which I praise you and connect with all human beings. But raising my voice in anger and saying things I regret have diminished my soul.
You created my hands and legs. I am grateful for the blessings of movement and activity, the gift of work and the gift of engaging in intimate love. Laziness, apathy, and hurriedness have diminished my soul.
You created my body with sexuality. I am grateful for the blessings of intimacy and pleasure, the gift of love in all its fullness, but I've neglected the spiritual essence of this act, and this has diminished my soul.
Every aspect of my creation, every organ of my body reminds me of my moral frailty and failures. I need to repent, to change, to grow.
I withheld at a time of giving. I spoke at a time for silence. I was silent at a time of urgency.
God, my Creator and God, on this day of atonement, let my fasting and non-pretentious practice and self-discipline make me attentive to repentance and forgiveness, to the potential of my soul, and to the holy purpose of my life.
We continue with the singing of Hine Matov. If you want to take the blue sheets that you were given when you walked in the room, this is Psalm 27. This is a psalm that we read every single day during the month of Elul. It's a psalm which I think, I hope and pray, gives us this feeling that we want to live within the house of Adonai all the days of my life. It's a psalm that hopefully helps us express our inner urge to look upon the sweetness of life and to want to spend time focusing our energy on those things. And so we begin together God is my light and my refuge secure. Whom shall I fear? God is the stronghold of my life. Of whom should I be afraid? When those who act with malice would devour me with words, it is they who stumble, they who fall. If an army were to take up against me, my heart would not fear. If war were waged against me, still I would trust. Achad sha'alti me'et Adonai ata havakesh, shaviti b'veit Adonai kol yemei chayai, l'chazot b'no'am Adonai u'levaker b'cheichalo. Just one thing I have asked of God, only this do I seek, to dwell in God's house all the days of my life, to behold divine sweetness and beauty, and to gaze in delight at God's temple. God shelters me in times of hardship, shields me in a tent of divine protection, raises me high upon a rock so that now my head rises above the enemies around me. Let me make offerings in that tent, the offerings of a joyful cry. Let me sing hymns and celebrate the one who is eternal, Adonai. Hear my voice when I call. God, answer me with grace. My heart spoke for you. It is said, seek my face. Your face, Adonai, I will see. Do not hide your face from me, nor angrily turn away your faithful one, the one you have sustained. My God of rescue, do not desert me. When my father and mother have gone, God will gather me in. Teach me your way, Adonai, and guide me on straight paths, because of those who lie in wait for me. Do not hand me over to the will of foes who rose against me, lying witness in those whose very breath is violence. If only I could believe that I will see God's goodness in the land of the living. Wait for Adonai, be strong of heart and be bold, but wait for Adonai. We continue with the singing of L'chad Odi as we welcome in the Sabbath bride and continue to celebrate this beautiful day of Shabbat. And I remind you that at the end, please rise as we welcome in the bride for the last verse. page 21 at the bottom. I bow, I face the ground. I fall before the Most High. Farther than heaven's heaven are you, nearer to me than the flesh of my bones. What have I to offer you but my spirit? How shall I lift my eyes to you? How can my tongue give praise? The signs of your love are countless, as are my sins, more numerous than the sands of the sea. So guide me toward the right path, my teacher, my keeper of faith, source of all that I know. When my heart speaks, I hear the words myself, and you, may you hear me too. We continue on page 22 with a Baruch Hu. We continue on the top of page 25 together. Day and night are yours, creative spirit of the universe, the muted colors of twilight, the radiance of dawn. Yours are the spreading wings of light, the deepening shadows of darkness, an ever-changing drama. In the human heart, too, the struggle between darkness and light unfolds. From sunlit heights of generosity, the human heart sinks to the gloomy depths of selfishness. Although we fall, you give us the strength. You call on those who hurt through the word or deed to break free from wrongdoing and return to you. All who hear you call to goodness and are embraced. All who reject emptiness and evil find acceptance from you. We come into your presence this night of Kol Nidre, aware that our shortcomings and weaknesses are many, yet encouraged by your promise of forgiveness. We choose freely the path of repentance, restoring wholeness to our lives and holiness to the world. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim. Blessed are you, Adonai, creator of twilight and dusk. Please be seated.
Love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. And these words which I command you on this day shall be in your heart, shall be in your heart. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise. Bind them for a sign upon your hands, that they may be a symbol between your eyes. Bind them on the doorpost of your house, and upon your gates, and upon your gates. Teach them faithfully unto your children. Speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise, and when you rise, and when you rise.
We continue on page 38 responsively. Truth and faith. These are fundamental. Our sovereign saves us from tyranny, redeems us from its violence through countless wonders, from its brutality through great feats beyond measure.
We are Israel, the people of God, the giver of life, who would not let our feet give way, the maker of miracles for us against Pharaoh, of signs and portents in the land of Egypt, the one who brought up people Israel from its midst to enduring freedom.
We continue with the singing of Micha Mocha on page 40. We continue on page 42 with Hashki Venu.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from the storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from thy storms. Hashki Venu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashki Venu, Shalom. Hashki Venu, Shalom Elohim. Ufosaleinu, Simchat Yomecha. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from the storm. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from thy storms.
As we welcome in Shabbat, we continue with the singing on Vishamru on page 44. Shabbat, of course, being that wonderful gift, the gift that God gave us, a gift to L'Sheva, to rest, to sit, to enjoy, to celebrate each other's company, to look around us and be grateful for the many miracles which exist, and to be thrilled with what is simply in front of us. An opportunity for gratitude, an opportunity to simply be.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat. Et HaShabbat v'doratam v'ritolam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat. Et HaShabbat v'doratam v'ritolam. Beni, Reuven, b'nei Yisrael, Oti, le'olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורתם וריתולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה את השמיים והארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם וריתולם. ביום השביעי שבת וינפש. שבת וינפש.
We continue with the Amidah on page 46 with Adonai Tzvatai Tiftach. Please rise. Na, na, na,
Adonai, Sephatai Tiftai, Titai,
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasei Avot V'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Lifnei V'neihem, L'man Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Atarav LaHoshia, Mori HaTahal, Mechakel Chaim BeHesed, Mechayeh HaKol BeRachamim Rabim, Sohamech Noflim V'Rofeh Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umito Mehalach, Melech Meimihi Tu Mechayeh, Umatzmiya Yeshua, V'ne'amanatal HaHayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol, Atah Kadosh B'Shem HaKadosh, U'Kadoshim B'chol Yom Yahalu Chasela, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. We continue together on page 72. 72. Eternal our God, your people Israel yearns for your favor. Receive their prayer with loving acceptance, and may you always desire your people's worship. Divine One, close to all who call upon you, bring your grace and presence near to those who serve you. Pour forth your Spirit on us, and may our eyes see your merciful return to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai hamachazir shchinato l'Tzion. Blessed are you, whose divine presence is felt again in Zion. We continue on page 75 at the bottom, again together. Is it not by his highest superfluousness we know our God? For to be equal in need is natural, animal, mineral, but to fling rainbows over the rain, and beauty above the moon, and secret rainbows on the domes of deep sea shells, and make the necessary embrace of breeding, beautiful also as fire, not even the weeds to multiply without blossom, nor the birds without music. There is the great humanness at the heart of things, the extravagant kindness, the fountain humanity can understand and would flow likewise if power and desire were perchmates. We continue with the singing of Shalom Rav, after which will be a moment of silent prayer. You can follow along with our Friday night band on page 78 and continue with your silent meditation on pages 80 or the meditation of your heart.
Shalom, Bimrama, Shalom, Aleinu, Ve'alkol, Yisrael, Ve'yimeru.
guys are amazing. Thank you so much for adding so much to this service. So I have to tell you, as a mother of 3 kids, one of the things that I love hearing in my house is laughter. The opposite of that is crying, of course, which usually doesn't follow far behind, as somebody who's laughing is interrupted by somebody else who's fighting over a toy, which happens to be the same one that all 3 won at the same time. But regardless, I think the laughter that a child brings into this world kind of teaches us or offers us a symbol of innocence, something which maybe we all kind of need to remember what that's all about. We read in our parsha this week this beautiful verse about wholeheartedness, that we are to be wholehearted before the Lord our God. Tamim, it says in Hebrew. And I think it's so important. Not only do I think it's important, but the scribes who wrote the Torah said it was so important that the Tav is even bigger than the other letters around it. There was a joke by a late medieval rabbi, which turned into not a joke, because sometimes when you're trying to joke, you end up saying the most true and accurate thing at that very moment, a.k.a. Jimmy Kimmel. Other people. The Tav is so big that it encompasses every single person in your life at that moment, so that you're there fully wholehearted. Maybe that's true. But let's just play with the word tamim, or tam. In modern Hebrew, it kind of has this negative connotation, this innocence, but this innocence that means that you can kind of get taken advantage of, where it's not necessarily considered a good thing to be that simple, that people can just sort of take over what you want. Even otherwise, in biblical Hebrew, we also get this Ish Tam, which is another name for Jacob, meaning that he was the guy, not like Esau, but the one who stayed in the tents, who stayed close to home. And it kind of evokes this image much later in rabbinic literature of the Nebuchadnezzar Jew who's always sitting and studying and engaged. Maybe you can kind of envision him. Pale white, not going outside very much, not very strong, kind of scrawny. Get an image? But I think that we can also play with the word innocence, Tom, just a little bit more. Not only innocence in that negative connotation, but perhaps innocence in a positive light as well. For isn't it wonderful when we think of what does a child's laughter really mean in our hearts? For me, it means an openness, like this moment that they figure out how to say happy birthday for the very first time, and that sweet smile that spreads across their face when they realize it's being sung to them. That very moment, it's their birthday. Or that sweet time when they, for the first time, are able to understand how something works. And what does that really mean? Well, it means that they're not stuck with these walls in front of them, guarding them, preventing them from experiencing the world. They just go for it with full energy and full force, running down the hallway to the next thing, which is the coolest thing ever, because it just is. It's that innocence, that awareness that the world is just this phenomenally wonderful place. And it's that innocence that I think really was lost when Adam took that first bite of that fruit, whatever it was, and there's always commentary if it was an apple or not, and we can get into that later. Come to Torah study. Hint. But it's that innocence that was lost when Adam took that bite and saw the world as it is and wasn't so sure about it anymore. We all have walls. I remember in rabbinical school, I learned all of these rules about grammar and the theology behind some of the prayers, and I kind of got stuck. I was looking at the prayer book going, I understand why this is there, but the theology. I don't know if I agree with the theology of it, and I'm not sure if I can say this anymore as a rabbi, and oh my God. And I was like tripping over myself. And then I realized this brilliant lesson that the rabbinical school was simply offering me tools, not tools to prevent me from studying or saying or engaging, but tools to enable me to help others engage and enable me to share and help other people see what they're actually reading. And then I can decide for myself, oh, I like it or not. But the more I say it, the more I internalize it, then I realize that I have to use those tools to sort of see through the text and see that the text is ultimately just one more vehicle to help us understand our relationship to God. I had to break through a wall that was given to me as a gift, but accidentally turned into a wall. I'm sure we also all have some of those in our lives. Things that our parents teach us, those lessons like don't mix, I don't know, chicken soup with cream because it's going to be weird and not kosher, and just don't do it. And then you just never do it. And then you sit back and wonder, why did I not do this? I don't do it, by the way. But, for those of you who do, whatever it is, that lesson that your mom gave you that made a lot of sense back then, but over time it sort of grew into a wall for you. You don't have to share it with me. But whatever it is. But maybe it's not just one of those lessons that were given to you out of love that we need to kind of watch out for. Maybe it's one of those other lessons. One of those lessons that only happens when you've been in an interpersonal relationship and something bad happened. Maybe when you were in middle school and your best friend at the time turned out not to be your best friend and spoke negatively about you, and all of a sudden the whole school was gossiping, and oh my God! And that really hurt. And then we have to wonder about trust again. And how do we do this? And what happens in the future when you're in the office and you're talking to your cubicle partner about this thing because you're having an issue with your boss, and your cubicle partner is like, yeah, I'm listening, you can tell me, it's all good, I got it, I'm not telling anybody. And then they go around and spread it, and your boss is looking at you like, what is wrong with you? How could you say that? So we all have those moments where the deep breakdown in trust occurs. Whether it's in the office or in our home life, in our school life, or somewhere along our development, our innocence was crushed. The belief that everyone around us is good kind of broke away. And we were left wondering, okay, how do we go back to living that verse out of loving God and loving others wholeheartedly? Where's that spiritual practice that comes in to remind us how to embrace life wholeheartedly? Because right now, I'm not feeling quite so wholehearted. The whole world kind of seems like, well, not quite as good as I thought it was 5 minutes before. And that's where I think Rosh Hashanah comes in, and Yom Kippur comes in, and this whole period of time that we're in. Kind of helps allow us and gives us this beautiful opportunity, this path of tshuva, this path of recovery, where we can go back to hopefully living a life of wholeheartedness. Are we going to go back to total innocence? No, not necessarily. But it'd be kind of nice for us to go back to living life just like a 3-year-old does, every once in a while, where we get really excited about the most miraculous thing that we discovered for the first time, because we weren't closed off to it anymore, because we were open to seeing the beauty around us. Sometimes we allow those moments of hurt that happened way back in middle school or even before to build that wall, and that wall can get kind of thick. But tshuva, again, helps us recover, helps us break through that wall brick by brick, slowly but surely. Not in one service and not because of one sermon, but it's a process. That's why it's 10 days. That's why we started in the month of Elul, slowly, chunking away, brick by brick, so that we can recover and go back to that moment of wholeheartedness, that moment of tama'im, that moment of sweet innocence. May this high holiday season bring you those opportunities. bring you that ability to chunk away at that wall that you've built up around some issue so that you too can run down the hall screaming out of pure joy and laughing a little bit at God, with each other. Can you hear Ratzon? May this be God's will. We're going to continue with Heal Us Now. If you'd like to add the name of somebody who's not on the list, or if you really feel the need to share somebody's name who is on the list because your heart really wants there to be even more healing for them, please do so. Please rise in your seat, and I will call on you as my eyes meet yours. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Jane, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Lori Curley and Lisa Emanuel.
Jane Estes and Eduardo Morales. If I knew what I know in the name of him, oh, she may move in the
We're going to conclude with Elenu, or begin with our concluding prayers with Elenu on page 116. 116, please rise. Elenu l'shabech la'adon ha'kol, la'teif la li'otzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoye har hatzot, ve'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, ve'gor ha'leinu k'hohamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'motim, lifnei melech, Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Page 119 at the top together. May the time not be distant, our God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when lies and bigotry shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. So may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your dominion be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad Hushamo 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 echad. Please be seated. The bottom of page 121. Our thoughts turn to loved ones whom death has taken from us in recent days. Those who died at this season in years past, our hearts open as well to the wider circle of loss in our community, wherever grief touches in the human family. It's my great sadness to tell you the loss of my friend earlier today, Rabbi Daniel Treiser. I served on the CCAR board, the Southeast Area Conference of Central Conference of American Rabbis, for several years with him. He was a rabbi in Clearwater, Florida, and served youth, especially loved youth, and did a tremendous amount at Camp Coleman, where he was always well received, and many who knew him looked forward very much to his coming and his energy and his insight. He was always one to work with rabbis in the region, and I could always count on him to let me know what was going on. It's because of him that I entered onto the CCAR board, and it's great sadness that I let you know that he passed of cancer. His son's bar mitzvah was earlier this spring, and he leaves behind 2 young children and a beautiful wife. Also this week, from our member of our community, Teresa Kenny, we are in a period of shloshim for Ken Robinson, Manfred Rothstein, and we're observing the yard sites of Helen Alpern, Dr. James L. App, Rosalind Applebaum, Seymour Brody, Ben Buss, Beatrice Cohen, Jonathan Cohen, Leopold C. Coleman Jr., Robert Sheldon Cooper, Anna Didus, Abraham Feldman, Mark Yale Feldman, Max Fink, Samuel Freeman, Eleanor Friedman, Eli Glossman, Vicki B. Goldstein, Sam Harris, Stacy Hartwell, Ray Hyatt, Martha Isaac, Rhoda Israel, Eva Meyer Jacobs, Libby Jaffe, Lillian Kane, Perry Cantor, Rosalie Ketsky, Esther Corman, Isidore Levinson, Linda Libman, Hirhi Lipa, David L. Mark, David Martin, John Butler Moss, Kenneth Palistrat, Sidney Pearson, Eugene S. Perlman, Anna Pesson, Louis Portnoy, Annie Rachelson, Betty Rothstein, Murray Schnurman, Jean Shewalby, Mary Shane Brown, Randy Silverberg, Gerald Jerry Sohn, Philip Spector, Abe Sugarman, Sylvia Turitz, Cecilia S. Witten, Sidney Walchuk, and Samuel William Wolfson. If you wish to add a name of a loved one or someone who you are especially thinking of, please rise in your seat and share their name as my eyes meet yours.
Clarence Dominic Algers.
Joel Citron, Ronald Hoffman.
Judith Kramer. Bill Hart.
Zichronam Livracha, may their memories always be for us a blessing. We rise together with our mourners and recite the Mourner's Kaddish on page 122. Yitzkadal v'yitzkadash merabah, v'yalmad yivrach yirteh v'yalmichmachuteh, b'chayachon u'v'yamechon u'v'chayet d'chol beit Israel, b'gala u'v'zman kari v'miru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam u'lamei olamaya, yiparach v'ishtabach v'pa'ar v'tramam v'itnaseh, v'itadar v'italev v'talal shmei d'kudesha b'rechu, Le'olam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, ta'amiram v'yalma v'miru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'miru amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'miru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. As together we say, Amen. Please be seated. I'd like to invite up our congregational president, David Kaufman, to please share with us some brief announcements.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Can you hear me okay? Back. First, I want to add my thanks to the Friday Night Live Band, lay-led members of our congregation. You all are amazing, and the spirit that you bring to our service is contagious, so thank you. Also want to especially thank tonight, you can see the lights tonight. I want to thank Brian Hasden and Jeff Nykirk for working so hard to get the lighting improved in time for the holidays. And as a result, we are also testing tonight for the first time live streaming this service for those members of our congregation who are not able to be with us. So hopefully we're doing okay, Brian, back there? Good. Mazel tov to Heather and Vince Weldon on the bat mitzvah of Lily tomorrow. Lily is a third-generation temple member. Amazing. I understand her grandparents were married by Rabbi Lefkowitz in Riverside, so welcome. And thank you to the Weldon family for sponsoring tonight's Oneg Shabbat, and to Sisterhood for preparing it. High holidays are coming, so that means that cleanup is not far away. This Sunday is our cleanup day, and I invite everybody to come and participate, beginning at 8:30. Sunday morning, we'll have bagels and donuts and juice and coffee and all that stuff, and lots of tasks to do to get ready for the holidays. So for those who signed up on Sign Up Genius, thank you. For those who did not and still want to help us, you're more than welcome to come and help out. High holiday tickets will be mailed on August 30th to those of you who are current with your financial commitments to Temple. Please make sure your payments are current so that we can celebrate the new year together. High holidays also means the start of TIR. Classes are growing, and we want every age-eligible child to be enrolled, please contact Michelle Penson in our office for answers to any questions you might have. This is a busy place this time of year, so next Thursday, thanks to the generosity of Dr. Larry and Kathy Cantor, we're bringing in Dr. Ed Bez to speak to us about biblical gardens. Should be a very interesting presentation, particularly as we consider developing our own biblical garden on the property we just purchased next door. So please come and participate and learn about biblical gardens. Also next week on, well actually this Sunday at 10 o'clock, Shofar Boot Camp begins with Kathy Winterfield. For anybody who's interested in learning how to blow the shofar and participate in high holiday services as well. Tuesday night, your Board of Trustees will hold its next meeting, so check your temple times on Wednesday for the summary of activities that took place at the board meeting. And Sisterhood invites everyone for an evening of wine, chocolate, and bunko next Saturday night, August 25th, beginning at 7 o'clock here at Temple. Please RSVP to Marie Reitzes. Both men and women are welcome. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
I'd like to invite Lily and her family back up to help with the Kiddush this evening. And we'll all join in singing with them, of course. This time it's grape juice. So we're going to continue with the motzi. So I'd like to invite up all those who have yet to be bar and bat mitzvah to help me with the motzi over the challah. Whoop. And we conclude with Tefillat Haderech, led again by our Friday night live band. And I just want to say thank you so much for coming and making this night special by your simply being here. May you be blessed with a sweet, healthy, and happy new year, one full of regaining and refining and recovering your innocence.
As we go on.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.